Right, hello, I'm going to teach you today how to make a really quick and simple pesto pasta with lots of veg, so it's very healthy. So I've got all my ingredients out in front of me and you'll see the recipe on the website. So the first thing we're going to do, I have already put my oven on, so you might need an adult to help you if you're not sure how to do it. I've put it on about 190 degrees because we're going to do some roasting. So we've also got a roasting tray. And I've also, over here on my hob, I've got a pot of boiling water for the pasta. So I'm going to put this on so I can boil it while we're doing the rest of it. So the dish should be ready all at the same time. So if you are not familiar with your kitchen, make sure you've got a grown-up to help you to do all of this. Okay, I'm also going just to put a little bit of salt into the water because it makes the pasta taste a little bit nicer, and I love salt. Okay, so to start with, I'm going to need my vegetables. So I'm going to start with my onion. Now I've got a red onion, and this is how I'm going to slice it. I'm going to show you a really quick and safe way to slice it. So I've got a little knife, it's quite sharp though, so I'm going to be really careful to keep my fingers out of the way. I'm just going to slice off this bit first, okay, all the way down. That's going to go into the food bin. And then grabbing this bit here that's got all the little hairs on it, if you slice it down the middle like that and keep those bits on, and then you can peel back the skin like this. Okay, so you get that yucky layer off, and then you've got something to hold on to so your fingers don't get in the way. So I'm holding on to that bit. I'm just going to slice it quite thin. Sorry, so quite thick. And cut that bit off. See, that all comes off together. It's also that bit where apparently is the bit that makes you cry. Okay, so I'm going to slice it down like that, and then I've got little squares of onion. I'm going to do the same on the other side. Just moving your finger underneath and peeling it all the way back. All the scraps go in the bin underneath. Okay, so again, holding it that way, bring the knife right down to the bottom, making sure your fingers are out of the way. Slice, slice and slice. Okay, so I've got little chunks like that. They're going to go, all of this is going to go just straight into the roasting pan. Alright, so the onions are in there. Next thing I'm going to use is a pepper, a red pepper. I'm cooking for my whole family, so I'm going to use half a pepper. You can use the whole thing if you like. My family don't love pepper as much as everything else. I'm going to cut that into a couple of centimetre square chunks. They can all go straight in as well. And watching your fingers, if you hold your hands like that when you're chopping, your fingers don't get in the way. Okay, they go into the same pan. Just move my large cauliflower so you can see where we're all going. Okay, I'll hold them up in a moment. I've got a carrot here. I don't bother to peel my carrots, but you might like to. I'm going to use a bigger knife for this one. This is quite a blunt knife anyway, but it's easier for the big. So watching my fingers, I'm holding them there like that, and I'm just going to chop my carrot into chunks. A bit smaller for the carrots because it's thicker and they take a little bit longer to cook compared to the peppers and the onions. Okay, so in they go. With this recipe, if you don't like any of these vegetables, you don't have to use them, or if you like other vegetables, I tend to put lots of things in like leek, sometimes fennel, broccoli. Okay, with my mushrooms, I'm actually going to cut them into, I'm going to cut them down the middle like that, and then into smaller chunks, just because I like the mushroomy flavours like that. Okay, cut your mushrooms into quarters. I've got 6 mushrooms. Okay, you can use however many you like. I don't peel mushrooms either, but if there is a bit of dirt on them, we just scrape it off. You can peel them if you like. I'm not too fussy about the skins of vegetables. Someone told me that the best part is just underneath the skin, so I keep the skins on. Okay, onto the tray, give it all a mix up. Okay, the last thing I'm going to do is a little bit of cauliflower. Okay, so just carefully cutting a piece off here. Said about 1 cup. 1 cup is about 250 grams, about that. Okay, cauliflower, you can slice it down the middle, and then into smaller chunks, like so. Okay, be really careful with your knife. Okay, so once you've got all of this sliced up and onto the tray, do it nice and quickly. If I were a TV chef, I would have had this chopped up already, but I'm not yet. Okay, so there is all my vegetables. I'm just giving them a mix on the tray. Okay, you can add anything you like in here, and because they're roasted, they've also got a different flavour than eating them, so the children seem to like them a bit more. Okay, over the top of that, I'm going to drizzle about a tablespoon of olive oil, and just check with your parents about how much, or whether you need to add salt. I do like to add a bit of salt, it does give them a bit of flavour. There's salt in the pesto, so don't go too mad. And a little bit of black pepper as well over the top. Okay, you can get your hands in there and shake them, or give them a mix there. Pop them back in. So these are going to go into the oven for about 20 minutes, or until they are a little bit brown and crispy on top. The smaller you cook them, watch out Charlotte, she's just sneaking outside. The smaller you cut them, the quicker they'll cook. So you need to check them. So now I'm going to go into the oven. Okay, watch your hands there. I'm going to set a timer for 20 minutes. I'm going to check them after that. They might need a bit more. Okay. Okay, so over here, my pan is boiling with water. So I'm just going to wait for that. So I'll come back to you when the water is boiling and the vegetables are cooked, and I'll show you what to do for step 2. Okay, so we're back again now. My water is boiling over here, which means that it is time for me to put the pasta in. So I am cooking for my whole family. There's 4 of us. So on the packet of pasta, it says to allow, let me have a look, it says 7 portions, 75 grams of dry pasta per person. I normally just throw it in, but today I will measure. I'm going to try about 75 grams. I do have some scales here, so let me just put the scales on, show you what it looks like. So if you're cooking for 4 people, well, if you're cooking for 7 people, you'd use the whole packet. So 4 people is about 300 grams, which looks like, okay, about that. There's still a little bit left in the packet. That's what it looks like. If you don't have any scales, then your parents will probably know what quantity. Or you could just cook for 7 and have some leftovers. So now I'm going to add that into the water slowly so it doesn't splash all over me. My vegetables have still got 10 minutes to go in the oven. I'm just going to open the oven door and have a quick look. Okay, I'll show you as well. I've got oven gloves here, very important. You stay safe. Okay, so on the tray, they are looking alright, like that. Still quite, still not quite crispy enough, so we'll leave them in there for 10 minutes. Meanwhile, the pasta is boiling. Okay, and I will give that a stir in here. Again, being very careful. It's going to take about 8 or 9 minutes to boil, but you need to check that when it gets to the time. Okay. So being very careful there. My pasta is boiling, my vegetables are in the oven, and I will come back to you when that is done. My pasta is still boiling, but I'm just going to give it a little bit of a stir. There's quite a lot of water in there because the more water it has, the better it moves around and the quicker it cooks. What I am going to do, I'm going to get a spoon and I'm just going to have a check of my pasta. So I'm going to take out one of, you can catch one. Can't seem to catch one. Okay, so I'll bring it back over here for you. The best way to test it, just leave it on your bench for a moment because it's really hot when it comes out. Okay. Once it's cooled down, just take a little bite. It needs to be soft. It's not soft at the moment, so it does need a few more minutes. My vegetables are still cooking. We've got about 2 minutes to go. I'm just going to have another look in my oven. Oh, they're looking much browner than last time. Okay, we can also, the carrots will be the one that stays the crunchiest, depending on how crunchy you like your carrots. I'm going to stick a little bit of a knife in it when they come out in 2 minutes and just check that they're hard through. On my bench here, I've got 2 types of pesto. I've got red and green. Depending on your taste, you might not have tried either of them. I quite like the red pesto. I think today I'll go with red, and then we'll save the green one for later. But it's up to you. If you've never had it before, do have a little taste of it first before you put it in. So what I'm going to do with that when it's ready is I'm just going to stir it through the pasta and the vegetables and mix everything together, and then we're going to serve it out for dinner. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to give that pasta another bit of a stir. You can tell when it's cooked because it does look double the size almost, and then compared to the last time, I'll just grab my spoon so I can take a bit out. Okay, again, don't put it straight in your mouth because it's going to be really hot. My vegetables have got about 50 seconds to go. It cuts nice and easily with a fork. I love pasta. So hopefully at home you have been taking some of the time to cook with your families or to help them out. I know Charlotte has been setting our dinner table every night. During school hours we probably wouldn't eat at the dinner table because we're always in a rush, but being at home and meaning that we don't have to rush to and from has meant that she's done a lot more around the house, which is really good. Okay, my vegetables have 12 seconds to go, so when that timer goes off, I'm going to take them out with the oven gloves and I'm going to just put them on the bench for a moment. Over here, somewhere. There we go. In fact, what I do have is a couple more things. We've got this cooling rack, so I will put it over here on the cooling rack. My mum used to always say to me, a good cook will always tidy up after themselves. It used to drive me crazy. They like to tidy up at the end. Okay, so turn my oven off and grab my gloves. Okay, always just take a little step back when you open the oven because a bit of heat comes out, especially on a hot day like today. Okay, so the vegetables, I'm going to say that they're done. Okay, so I'm going to close my oven. I'm going to keep my oven gloves on because this pan is going to be hot. I've got a scraper here and I'm just going to scrape them a little bit. It's also really nice to put roasted garlic in this, but Stu doesn't like roasted garlic. It's only me, so I've left it out for today. Okay, so I'm just going to check they're not stuck to the bottom of the pan. They seem to be nice and cooked. There's not a great deal in there actually. I could have put more in, but if you're like my family, my kids will pick out the vegetables. Okay, let's just check those carrots. Yeah, the knife goes straight through them, which means that they are cooked. Okay, over to my pasta now. It should be ready as well, because it was almost ready a moment ago. So this part here, you might need an adult to help you with this bit. So what I'm going to do, I've got a strainer. I'm going to put that into my sink. I'm going to pour out all of the pasta water straight down to the sink. So just watch that you still have your gloves on for this, because the steam can be quite hot as well. So grabbing it by the sides and carefully pulling it over here to the sink. Okay. Alright, once that's all tipped out, okay, just put it back in like that. I've got the pasta in the sifter. Give it a little bit of a shake. And then what we're going to do, oops, if I can, is tip the pasta back into the pot. Okay, there's no water in there now. Alright, so I'll tip my pasta back into my pot. And the vegetables then, tray's still going to be hot. So again, get an adult to help you with this if you need. Okay, I'm going to scrape those in. They are literally going in straight from the oven. Okay. scrape them down. So you might need to get mum to hold this bit while mum or dad or auntie or uncle or grandma or granddad, to hold that while you scrape them in. Okay, and the tray's going to go into the sink. Put a bit of water on that so it cleans easier. Okay, so in here now, I have got my vegetables and pasta. Let me just mix those together. Okay, and I will show you what I can at the end. Alright, so I said I'm going to use my red pesto. So all I need to do now is find a spoon that's going to fit in there. And I'm going to put about 1 heaped teaspoon, but I want a tablespoon per person. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. In fact, I'll probably end up using about half the jar. And then you've got another jar. Or if you like the flavour of this and want it a bit stronger, you can definitely add more pesto. Okay, let's put that in and give it a stir and see what it tastes like. So stir it round nice and carefully. What you want to see is everything coated nicely with the pesto sauce. And as soon as you put that in, the smell has really come out. Okay, I think I might end up putting a bit more in. In fact, I might just go so far as to use the whole jar, sorry. But I know we like this. Okay, alright, just scrape out as much as you want to. Okay, that's going in the sink as well to be recycled, washed out and recycled. Okay, so all mixed in together, the meal is done. This is my pesto pasta. All I need to do now is just taste it. Oh, yum. Okay, and then we can serve it up. So, let's grab a bowl. Grab a bowl. Another spoon, serving spoon. Okay, and then I'm going to put some into my bowl. You might like to serve this with either some Parmesan cheese or some grated cheese over the top. A couple, about 2 or 3 scoops per person. And that is our wonderful dinner. Oh, spilled a little bit on the floor. We're going to serve our family. Okay, so happy cooking. If you do make this, please take a photograph and send it to me. I'm going to do another recipe. I'm going to do a bolognese, which might suit more people. But there we go, quick and easy. Enjoy!